they deserve that award, ठीक है, because क्योंकि उनके काम के वजह से हमें उनका काम बहुत सालों से देखा है, इस वजह से उनको मिला है. But some bloggers come up, they say that it's like big gay hai awards ये सब. So what's your take on that?
See, it's very simple. You get the award, you call it for your work. You don't get it, you bitch about it. So the lady who was always questioning what I'm doing and why I'm doing, because it's not paying me anything. I go inside a huge properties, head chef comes and welcomes me, comes towards me. He's not waiting for me to go inside. He's coming forward. The marketing PR is coming and people are like so happy to see me. And she's like, why are these guys treating him like he's Maharaj or something?
So many pieces all back together now. What's your vision?
Hey, what's good everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Merlion Talk Show. Today's guest is one of the best food bloggers of Hyderabad. So I personally look up to him and have learned a lot from him. His name is Karthik Gandhi, aka Gastro Hogger. Let's not waste any time and jump into the interview. So let's meet Karthik Gandhi. Hello sir, thank you so much for agreeing for this interview. I know you are very busy and you took out some time for this.
Sure, thank you. Thanks for having me in the show.
So let me start this interview by asking one question, is that what is your connection to food?
For a food blogger, probably that'll end up being the most toughest question to answer, not an easy one.
Yes.
For me, I think it was always been there. It's just I was like a foodie when I was in US. We'll talk a little bit later on that. So I was a true foodie because being into US and being into multiple cities, I couldn't restrict myself with just looking out for Indian food, which was not so great either, right? So I was going in search of food. The access to cuisines was much easier, I would say. Like you'll stay in a neighborhood and within a mile you'll get Mexican, Chinese, Asian, because it's a cross-cultural thing, right? So started tasting food, started understanding. So, but I was just a foodie. Like I enjoy having food just like any other people who like food. But then when I came back to India, particularly to Hyderabad, probably it's the hype of biryani, right? So people said that if you're a Hyderabadi, you have to taste the biryani and all those stuff. I think that foodie in me got a little bit more inquisitive, like, okay, can I take it next level, right? Not just be a foodie who just goes and enjoys food, but communicate what he likes to do, what's good, what's not good. I think I felt I had a connection with foodie just like any other foodie would do. It's no longer an entity, right? It's unknowingly become a part of your life. Like sometimes you feel too attached to it that you can't like stay away from like eating different food. And I think a lot was because I was in Hyderabad. I don't think if I'd have gone to any city like Bangalore or anything, I would have connected to food that much. It's just food and people talking about food 24/7 across, right? So I think for me now, food is more than part of my life because it's given me a dimension called Gastro Hogger as a blogger. People do recognize me, which is quite very good. It's a feel-good factor. It's not like something I want to be proud of it. Because everybody shines in something, but it's like a humbling experience that some random person comes and say, I know who you are by your Gastro Hogger. That tells me that, okay, this 4-5 years has been something good. Food for me now is an emotion, right? I can connect to it and sometimes it sounds obsessive, but I can keep thinking about food for like days. So I think typical to any other foodie, I think it's an emotion.
Tell us about your life in USA. So, what was different there and different here, and how did you completely came into this food blogging industry? Like, what point you thought like, okay, I'll take a food blogging before you used to work in TCS, right? Yeah, and then like you completely became a food blogger, like completely into that. So tell us how that experience, how the transition happened.
Sure. I mean, just to clarify, I'm still an employee, right? I still work for IT companies. Food blogging is more of passionate, not a part-time job. I would say job means there is remuneration part and monetization part. No, it's more of passion / your what do you say? The went out space for me where I can be just myself, right? I worked for 2 years after my college grad, and then by an opportunity I went to US. That time going to US and consultancy was very easy, right? Feel good, easy. People are sponsoring people. So I went into like the most, I would say, the boom zone when the economy was all good. Got some jobs. I think food was a major part at that point of my life because though I had friends, colleagues and everything, we were roaming around. I think food was always a part of me. I never tried to go for a late night dinner, go through a drive-in, get a snack I want. So I think food was one of the way of me realizing that I have more freedom than I was in India, because you can go grab anything you want, you can go eat anything you want.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to judge you for it.
Yeah.
I think that whole scenario or ecosystem of people minding their own business and don't really give a damn about what others think. I think that perspective applied to food as well. Nobody judged you because you're eating something exotic. Nobody was judging you because you're grabbing a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the regular the change that you see, like Taco Bell. I mean, those are all part of my regular journey. As I was bachelor, if I don't cook, I end up being in Wendy's or Taco Bell for sure. You can find me there. But I started going to this deli. It's like, okay, there is from a 3 miles, there is a different community. So there will obviously be a deli. Yeah. So I went there and started accustoming myself. Nobody saw me as a stranger, like who's this random Indian guy getting into a local deli. Nobody judged again there.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I was able to find my palate that, okay, burgers are not the same. Sliders are not the same. Pizzas are not the same. So that's how my inquisitiveness to know food, just like as a normal foodie, started. So I got married, I kept moving cities, and then I got settled down in a place called Wilsonville in Oregon State, and we went there. So when we got to know that we are having our second kid, and we also got to know that once my term of visa was getting over, so I had finished like 6 years straight in US. So the only way for you to get through is you have to come out, be out of country for a year, you have to get a fresh visa and go back.
Okay.
So I was well settled there. My customer was happy. TCS was all happy. Nobody had any concern. So my plan was like, come here, have our kids delivered. Probably I'll get back, and then the family will get back, right?
Okay.
But I think I came with the good intention and a good backup plan, but a wrong time. So 2012 was when a couple of IT companies were scrutinized for using B1 visa. Like, through B1 visas, you're actually sending in tech folks and all those things, which I wasn't aware of. I was just focusing. And it was very stressful for me in TCS because my whole perspective of working changed. Because in US, doesn't matter you're a contractor, you're working in client location, everybody's looked as equal. You have your space, you got to say no, you have your own work hours. Coming here, the entire dynamics, though I've worked in India for like a couple of years early, I couldn't relate. Like I was a misfit here, right? From my reporting team to the team that I had to manage. People were just lethargic, right? I couldn't connect with them. I was pissed off a lot of times. I was really stressful. And luckily, I think that's when the food part came into it, like started exploring it. So it was like my stress buster. So yeah, I'm still a full-fledged IT program manager and also doing blogging in together. So it's not that I've come out to be like a full-time blogger.
Do you find this hard, balancing both different life, because this is completely different, and in blogging career you have to be consistent on your social media. So this game, right? So how do you balance this life, like being a family man, working in as an IT professional, and also taking this like blogging career to levels, right? How do you balance all these things?
I would say many people will say, yeah, I know I'll balance it, but nobody has any magic formula, right? You just adapt. If somebody says that I'll tell you exactly how you will balance, he's going to bullshit you, right? Because every person's lifestyle is different. Everybody's perspective is different about blogging, right? For me, knowingly or unknowingly, there were a set of people who were then leaders in Zomato, like Zubair, Vishal, Arvind Ramchandar, Sabyasachi, Sankalp Vishnu. I can name like 15 people right away off the bat. Because they were writing in their own styles. I mean, though you see they are writing about the same restaurant, each of them had a flavor for themselves. So one thing I was clear that I should not be them, because then it looks like a wannabe or a copycat. I templatized my thing, and I felt that, let me just express. And I think people liked it because for most part of it, people could have a virtual experience of, okay, this is how exactly the place would be. right?
Yeah.
So people started telling me that offline and also in comments saying that I know you're talking a lot, you're writing a lot, but somewhere I feel that I was there in that person. So and that gave me a positive boost, right?
It's kind of a compliment when you do that. It's like your work shows
exactly.
off.
Yeah. So you don't expect when you start writing, even in Zomato, that people will come and praise you for what you're writing. They'll take you as a reference point. Should I follow this guy because he gives a genuine review? I think it was not just about the quality of content, Merlin. I think the time era where we worked was that good because Zomato was evolving. Like at that point of time, people were already established, but the usability factor was booming. So for me, food blogging or whatever space you're talking has always been to be myself and be creative, because that you lag it as an IT professional for restrictions. Coming to balance part of it, from a balancing part, I would say it's not more about me. I've told it in multiple of my posts. Knowingly or unknowingly, my family is the backbone. It's a cliche term that people say that I'm successful because of my family, but I don't mind it because it's good. Because yes, my wife still fights about me being too much of a food blogger, doing this, you'll kind of worsen your health, you're eating a lot and everything. But I think as years pass by, as our marriage life went into maturity, she understands that this is not something I'm doing for just time pass. This guy has a passion. So she gave me that breathing space. So that breathing space and the work-life balance that my company offered become the success formula, I would say, if it's for me.
Nice.
So, and the other key point that I do is, though there are three different dimensions, I am not three different forms of me. I'm the same. If you talk to me in office and if you talk to me in any food session, if you come to my home and I talk, I don't represent myself as three entities. So I'll be the same Karthik Gandhi everywhere. I'm short-tempered. I talk a lot. I think that was also key, because if I'm trying to pretend like a gastro hogger, like if you say gastro hogger has a certain way of talking, and that's not me, that puts the burden of exactly what you're asking. Like when I wear my gastro hogger hat, I have to talk like this person. When I go into an IT manager, I have to talk like this. I don't have that much. So what is seamless for me is I can get into three ecosystems as me, and that makes it much easier. And it is only tough if you think it is tough. If we find out ways to balance it. See, sometimes I might have to write a blog at 12 a.m. because I have a commitment to give to the restaurant tomorrow, and I'm already tired to death. I came to home at 10:30. If you think it is a pressure, a responsibility, you're not going to do justice. All I say is, I've committed this to somebody. It doesn't matter to my own manager in the company, to my wife in the family ecosystem, or to a restaurant as gastro hogger. It's a commitment that you have made. So it's not about whom you're dealing with. It's about you. I gave a word to somebody, I'll stick to it. It's as simple as that. I think for me, that's the mantra, that if I tell you something, I'll do it no matter what.
Okay.
And the other aspect also is, don't delay things. It's just, for me, the three parameters teach me a lot. So whatever I learned as a manager, I was able to adapt in gastro hogger. Whatever I took experiences of interaction with a lot of people, I took this learning into office. And whatever I have matured as a family man, I bring it. So I continuously improvise on these three different ecosystems, that I take the learnings from one space to the other. And I don't feel burden. If I feel it as burden, I'm doing it for the pleasure of that, which I never do it. The moment I feel that gastro hogger is a burden to me, the gastro hogger will be gone. I've said this to multiple people. The moment I feel gastro hogger is not me and is adding too much pressure to do, I'll stop blogging. I don't care. I know there's a lot of people.
I hope we don't see that kind of day anyway, because whenever I even see your stories or any minute story also, I see the passion that you put into that story to make it so engageable, right? Whenever someone scrolls through your Instagram or anywhere, any social media, so people get engaged. That shows that how passionate you are towards that, to build that relation with the social media family. So I don't want that to go away. I hope gastro hogger never goes away, because we have learned a lot from you. In your Instagram stories, I have seen your family a lot, like your three daughter angels. So how did your family, even daughters and your wife, how did they support you in the beginning?
Kids were not a part of it. Kids were never a part of it because they were quite young and they didn't do anything. I think it was not a happy zone to take this to the level it has become, because it had its own consequences in my married life that I've told to this my close buddies. We have fought for it over years, saying that why are you doing it? I hate you going out on food sessions, coming back late, hanging out with people. I would say I haven't done a fair part of resolving it in a very good way, making her understand. I would say she was more of the understanding partner here, to see that, okay, this guy is frank, this guy is not going to listen to me. So either I fight it out and make the hell of our lives and just see what he... So it has always been like, okay, I console her and I tell her exactly why I do it, and then things go, and then one session or one event will take me too late night. I would end up being like 1 a.m. in the house. The next day, the war will start. That will go for a month and then calm down, and then she'll understand why I'm doing it. So this was going on for cycles and cycles, right? The one thing that she always knew was that I'm for her, right? I'm there for her and she's there for me. And I tried to explain her, this part of me is not going to take me away from her. I think she was in that possessive mind that he's spending less time for me, he's spending less time for kids, she has to do everything at home, and he enjoys, right? She has told this, like, you work and you enjoy, you don't do much for the family, right? And I'm at fault, totally, right? I take that thing. But I think over a period of time, it was more of her maturity, not my maturity. I'm still the same old idiot that I fight if I think she's wrong. Or even if I'm wrong, I'll fight. I think she matured it, saying that, okay, this guy is not going to change even after this years. And she always tells me, Zubair would know this a lot. She always teases me with Zubair, right? And she says like, जाके उससे शादी करो, मेरे को छोड़ दो, like go stay with him and all those things. So I mean, it has gone to that level, right? But I think over a period of time, I think I'll tell you exactly the incident that changed this perspective. I convinced her to take her to ITC Kakatia for a kebabs food festival, where they invited me for I think kebabs festival. So a chef had come in to create new versions of kebabs, and I said that I think it was some important I think it was close to our wedding day, if I'm not right, this is a couple of years ago. And I said, and I convinced her, and my in-laws were there. I said, kids, in-laws will take care. You just come to me. I just felt at that point of time, I have to show what is happening rather than telling them. So finally, I just literally begged her, Aajao, ek baar, dekh lo kya, if you don't like it, because she hates coming where I act as gastro. She just hates, right? I just said, ek baar, this is a vlogger's table, not a food session, come down. I took her. The whole session went in so smooth, and when I went in, the marketing, the chef, the head chef, everybody came and with me, and in a jiffy she got shocked. Like, it's like, why are these people welcoming him so much? Right? And I could see it in her eyes. It's very easy to read her. I can read her very easily, right? So the lady who was always questioning what I'm doing and why I'm doing, because it's not paying me anything. I go inside, a huge property's head chef comes and welcomes me, comes towards me. He's not waiting for me to go inside. He's coming forward, the marketing PR is coming, and people are like so happy to see me. And she's like, why are these guys treating him like he's Maharaj or something? We sat, food came in, they were asking questions, chef was explaining. And I think that session changed the whole perspective of her of what I was doing. I don't think that 3 years of convincing worked. That session made her realize that, okay, right, he's doing something, right? She didn't still accept the fact that I was an established blogger. All she did was like, banda kuch kar raha hai, people are respecting him for that. I think that changed the perspective, and then I started getting goodies, event celebrations, invites, all to my home. Said that, okay, I think, are you paying for all this? I'm not paying. Why would I pay to get all this? I'm not going to do it. And then I think the combination of that session experience and the way I was treated and hosted, and people coming to talk to me, people sending me gifts and everything, felt her realize that, okay, he's doing something that's earning him respect. So I think that thought made her to respect that, and it's exactly the space she has given me. I have not created it. She has given me this space. Coming to skits, the elder one was always a foodie like. He likes it, right? And what curiousness she wanted is, why is dad always in Facebook or somewhere? Social media, kuch to kar raha hai. And she was always active in watching videos. So whenever I talk to somebody, I write about something, she comes right next to me, sees what I'm doing. And she was curious because she was in front of the camera. She always likes being in front of the camera. So first I integrated Tarnika, the elder one, into my product reviews because I felt is shakal se koi dekhne wala nahi hai. I cannot talk about it. It's not welcoming. And I kept getting such products which kids, if promote, will actually good. So I involved Tarnika. Tarnika was loving it. She was a natural. If any of you have seen, Tarnika is very natural in front of camera. So I used her. Twins, I never intended to, right? But when I kept posting photos, people said that, like, why don't you bring them in front of camera? We want to just see her live. So I think they just came in, and I think as a unit, they just tell 3 of them the moment anything. Now the situation is any product comes to home, they know they'll have to dress up. Nice. So they will come back to me saying that, Papa, what is in that? I say, I have to do a photo shoot. They say, okay, tell me the time, we'll get ready, and you tell us exactly. So they're like so involved right now, and I'm also using them in TikTok. So I think, again, to answer the second part, they got integrated into Castro. My intention was never to bring them cautiously. More people are asking just to see them. I thought that people liked and engaged more when I posted something about my kids. So I think it was natural that I had to bring them in the ecosystem. And yeah, now they have got more fans than me. All they ask is like, okay, when are they coming here? So family balance or family support, it's been on their side. I don't think I have earned anything out of it. Kids have also supported. So it's them. The whole credit goes to them.
In your views, how can someone who is like a beginner, amateur, how can he or she start this food blogging? Like, to get it to that level, to call themselves as yes, I am a food blogger. So what are the steps that they have to follow?
It's same like growing in any field, Milind, right? As I said, one should be your drive. Your drive should be to express your love for food or passion for food, compassion for food, or kuch bhi term kar lo. You need that inner drive for sure. You have to connect to food. If anybody is going to take this from a commercial point, they're food blogger bananga kyunki market acha hai, people are sending free food, and I can post with food and all those things. You will. I mean, not to take names, there have been people who have been quite successful on that. I'm not saying that's a no, but you cannot sustain. You can be like an overnight wonder, 6 months, 1 year, and then you'll die because your content is not going to back the show that you're If anybody wants to join, don't imagine the destination right away. मेरे को food blogger बनना है, मेरे को Zubair जैसा बनना है, मेरे को Zubair जैसा fame चाहिए. That's like you waking up one day and saying, I want to become Amitabh Bachchan. As simple as that. होने वाला नहीं है. And if somebody is going to tell you, यार करो यार तुम कल शाहरुख खान बनोगे, somebody is fooling you right away there. It's just like any other profession. Passion and profession in terms of growth and in terms of you becoming better and better is same. You have to take one step at a time, and if you're trying to take multiple steps, for some it might work, but you're going to die. But if anybody is going to start, first step number 1, have a drive and be confident on the drive. You know what you're going to do. Second, start from somewhere. You cannot declare yourself a food blogger and start creating content. I've seen this a lot of people. All they do is change it into a brand name, connect something with Hyderabad and food, handle में डाल दो Hyderabad और food का combination आना चाहिए because you will trend. And then call yourself a blogger, but the content when you have become a blogger will be like 4 or 5. नहीं, मत करो वैसा. I changed my name after writing in Zomato for 2.5 to 3 years, and I still was not so confident because Zubair was telling me you need to have a name. I said like Karthik sounds fine. I'm happy. We realized the value that we had to name as a brand because at that point of time we needed more visibility. अभी जिसो accessibility ने वहाँ पे नहीं था. So there was a need for us to create a brand. 1, have a drive. 2, be clear why you're doing it. 3, create content. When I say content, you don't have to create top-notch 4D, HD quality. No. Create quality content jahan pe food is explained, food is experienced. And you talk about food that even a person sees it and he takes one learning out of it. That's a good content. If you're just going to commercialize it, do drama about it, put all your persona over the food and where food becomes the secondary topic, that's not content to me, right? So content has to be the hero. When I say content, the real content, not the gimmicky content you put around it, the commercialism part of it. 4th, I'm not a good person to tell that. I'm a very, very bad guy to tell this, but keep it consistent. I told this, I'll bring this name again as Zubair. because you will see he has a proper professional schedule. Usko raat ko stories 10 baje se pehle karna hai. You can't stop him doing that. He will take any measure to drop the content by 10:30 p.m. sharp. You can't talk him about it. You can't take him out of it. He'll do it at any cost. सुबह 8 बजे का पोस्ट करना है तो even if he sees the 6 o'clock, he'll set an alarm, post it at 8 a.m. That's ethics to me. That's not professionalism. That's ethics. मेरे को वैसा करना है तो बोले तो वैसा ही करना है at any cost.
Commitment to the work.
Ethics. Commitment to the work. Take it as a work, but don't take it too serious. For Zubair, it is work because he's doing it full time.
Commitment to the passion, we say.
Exactly, right? So do it with some ethics. You say you will post alternate days, stick to it. You say I'll post only 10 stories a day, do it. But don't budget. Don't set a framework for yourself and don't do it. Right? Skip doing it. Ye karo, consistently karo. And engagement cannot be defined. Even after like now people easily ask questions. Yeah, how did you become 60K? I was like, if I know, I would have become 600K by now. Why would I stick at 60K? Sure. I'm like stuck in 60K for a year now, right? Ja raha hu, upar ja raha hu, niche ja raha hu. I've lost that battle with Instagram. It's very easy. It doesn't come overnight, right? Passion, intent why you're doing it, a good understanding of food, basic knowledge about food. You can't talk about pizza without knowing what goes into a pizza base. Period.
Like when I entered this Instagram food blogging community, so I have seen a lot of support from the fellow food bloggers. Okay, but on the other hand, I have also seen there is a lot of negativity in this food blog, like the 5% of the people who create these controversies and all, and have seen that you always take a stand against it. So tell me about this, like the negativity that is there in this food blogging and the controversies that they create, and how it impacts the other fellow creators.
I mean, this is again a cliche, right? I mean, it's like jahan pe the word social media comes in, you know that there will be the two sides of it. The only thing I don't like when it comes to our blogging industry is, see, when I and Zubair came in, politics was there. It is never that we came into an era where everybody were loving everybody. There was hatred, there was some compassion, there was some pushing down, like to kuch nahi hai, chup rahe ho baisa. So we had to break that barrier. Zubair helped me a lot on it. In this case, Zubair has always been the senior guy in this equation, right? He took steps that broke barriers. Very simple. See, Hyderabad as a blogging community is not mature like Delhi or Bangalore. Very simple. So when somebody raises a voice, it looks kiddish. If somebody in Delhi raises a voice, somebody who has 100K and 20K says very blatantly coming into the well, that guy is bullshit. I am genuine. He's faker. You will listen to him because his account and the credibility in terms of the following tells that. Yahan pe you're like 200 followers, hardly any engagement. So I'm not going to take likes into it. You're like 6 months into the ecosystem and you come back and say, wo chutiya ye piche se baat karte. Like, even if you have the factest of the fact, you're not backing with the authenticity of your profile. You're no one to talk that.
True.
And now people have taken that as a weapon to create focus on that. I'll make a noise, I'll make something, I know somebody is doing something, log aa jayega mere piche. So the negativism I don't hate is, see, very simple, mind your business.
True, yeah.
See, everybody has opinion about others. Even for YouTubers also, you might be bitching back of somebody else, but that's the personal space. You're not bringing that to social media to sell that I don't like this guy, I don't like this guy. Even if you have a personal opinion, you keep it for yourself. That's called dignity, right? But what I started hating is people coming back and bitching as if like they are a clean slate. Everybody has problems, everybody has done mistakes, everybody has done it. When you're taking a stand about controversy, creating controversy or putting some negative things about the guy, make sure very clear. Don't beat around the bush. If you're saying that I don't like that X because he's doing this bullshit, be man enough to call that guy out. Don't give this diplomatic, you know what, this bada blogger who goes for this, who likes this. I like, mar de to naam le lo, nahi to chup chap wait.
True.
So that boldness I'll appreciate. If somebody comes against me and say that Gastro Hogan, you're doing this and you're wrong, I'll respect at least you for being honest to the face. Because you didn't shy away from being anonymous. You said who you are and you have exactly called out the person whom you wanted to confront. I'll respect for that. But curtain se piche jaake, I'm very scared that if somebody knows it is me, will come and bitch. And if I point out something, unka followers mere ko aake marega. Don't do it. Don't do it. So that negativism is not about the content or what they even say as content or facts about it. It's about taking a stand. Yaar tum le rahe ho, then le lo. Take a stand and say, I don't like this. Don't do it. Call out the names. Nahi karna chahte ho, you want to be diplomatic, because I'll tell you a lot of people are why not doing it. Because if I take a name, and tomorrow that person has my name in his mind to call out for a system, mere ko nahi bulayega. So I want to be friends with everybody who can run sessions. Very simple. I want to survive in this ecosystem at any cost. Yeah. For me, you have to survive in the ecosystem because you think you can do. That's it. Not at any cost. Wahan pe credibility ka baat hote. So I take a stand because it is very simple. I don't like it. I'm being very frank. If I don't like it, and I think if somebody who has put a lot of mehnat is criticized, I'll come and take a stand. I have taken for Zubair, I have taken for Javed Bhai, I have taken even for some of the peers. If somebody with like coming into the system, being a newbie and calling out a guy who's 5+ in the system, saying that yaar tum chutiya aur wo bhi samne nahi bol rahe ho, ye maska kar rahe ho, you'll not earn my respect ever. Because you have just come to create noise, to create spotlight on it. Very simple. You'll never earn my respect. But misconceptions bhi hota. Even I have reacted to something that eventually I found out I should not have reacted it. I have apologized to that candidates. Now I am pretty good friends with them. So, wo misconceptions ho sakta hai, right? Tips हो सकता है. Controversy नहीं create करना चाहिए because we have enough noise in our normal lives. We are using this forum to be more interactive. So I take a stand on it because if you don't have facts, you can't back it out. You can't take out the name. Don't do it. And if you continue to do it, you're actually degrading yourself. But negativism, as Zubair said, I know you would have heard in Zubair's, and that's why he's doing this HFT meets every year, is to bring the community closer so that bitching percentage goes down and down. Yes, you can't solve it. You can't stop it. You're not a godfather to stop it. You don't have superpowers to stop it. But to reduce it so that people will talk to each other in a community so that I'll not create a negative opinion. But do you ask me that it will ever die? No. Social media channels hoga, wahan tak rahega hi rahega. But I'm not going to stop taking stands. Probably I've toned down a little bit. I've got a little bit matured. But I see if negativity is pure bullshit basis, I'm going to call out. That's me. I know people still hate me for that, for taking it. I said I don't want to fake it and I will not. So negativism, people realize, some of them have realized it and have changed their ways. Some of them still there. Aate rehte hai.
And I have seen people, claiming these award shows are bought because these pioneers in the food blogging industries, they get award, and we as an audience we can actually see that they deserve that award. ठीक है? Because क्योंकि उनके काम के वजह से हमें उनका काम बहुत सालों से देखा है, इस वजह से उनको मिला है. But some bloggers come up, they say that it's big gay hai awards ये सब. So what's your take on that?
See, it's very simple. You get the award, you call it for your work. You don't get it, you bitch about it. Very simple. It's attention and recognition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, मैं भी इतना काम कर रहा हूँ, वो भी इतना खा रहा है. मैं भी बिरयानी खा के रिव्यू कर रहा हूँ, वो भी बिरयानी खा कर. But they don't understand the underlying pan. What is the purpose they are doing? Are you doing it as similar passion with him? वो compare नहीं करते. लोग सिर्फ ये compare करते हैं, वो क्या कर रहा है, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. But क्यों कर रहा है, वो understand नहीं करना चाहते हैं, because they know that guy is putting heart and soul. I'm just putting my spare time. Right? Recognition, I'll tell you, right? For somebody even like Zubair, right? Zubair को हुआ था 2-3 बार, right? I know this question is related to that. Zubair, whoever has seen, even in the last 1 year or 1.5 years, I have seen this idiot for 5 years. बंदा करता है, दिल से करता है. बंदा करता है, मेहनत करके करता है. He is no one who does it if it's easy. I've told him, take the easy route, use your influence and do it. वो नहीं करता है, नहीं, I'll do it my way because I have to work for it and I have to get it. And I'll tell you how many times he has really got pissed off that यार recognition क्यों नहीं आ रहा? Food bloggers बन रहे हैं, we are making crowd, we are making people eat food, we are helping F&B, everything we are doing. Why is there no recognition in it? I think the Telangana Awards came in at the right time. I know exactly how he was thrilled because I know from the day the TIA approached him and how he was excited because we share a lot of things. So he exactly told me what happened, how it happened, how the nomination happened, how excited. He was like a kid screaming for 2 months knowing that he was nominated.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why he was screaming. He was screaming and happy because I remember this first line. He didn't say that Broski, I've got nominated. वो दूसरा शब्द था. The first शब्द था that Broski food community is getting recognized. Now you tell me, if this guy doesn't deserve this, who else should deserve it? मतलब पहला recognition, पहला nomination आ रहा है, and he's saying, Broski, finally people are looking as food community as a profession. लोग इसको recognize करना चाहते हैं. And I'll tell you what. And if you are anybody who are related to food, this line will touch your heart. ये नहीं समझ पा रहे वो. If you have understood it, you are in that community where you're supporting Zubair because he's taking.
True.
If you have never understood the essence of this line I told, you are in the other side where you're pitching about King getting award.
True.
It's very simple to me.
True.
Have all the awards that I know that I have seen were deserving? Probably not.
Okay.
But for majority, has it gone to the right people? Yes.
Yes.
For Zubair, oh hell yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have happy even if I or anybody I know in my peer community would have got it, because if you are in the food community for some years, you know what Zubair is. Yeah. You would be the first person to say there is nobody else who deserves than this. You would have seen that positivity go along.
Yeah, yes.
Bitches are going to bitch, but what I would say to them is always haters are going to hate, and I'll tell you, bro, Zubair also tells this. He likes haters at every part of his life because he says that they push me more than my followers. They make me think that I'm not doing enough and I'll keep continuing to do enough. So award recognition, yaar mil rahe to mil rahe, nahi mil rahe to nahi mil rahe. If you are bitching about it, my only clear, I would say, take on you is you want fame than showing your passion.
Yeah.
All you need is the spotlight.
Yeah.
Valid, not valid, worthy, not worthy is not your problem.
Yeah.
Your problem is you want that spotlight, and you are not thinking why you want that spotlight. मेरे को spotlight चाहिए, मेरे को count चाहिए, मेरे को followers चाहिए, because after you get that award, you know how commercialized you're going to make that. उसके हिसाब से you'll go for more marketing, more baking sessions, bigger forums. यार मैं ये award हूँ.
Yeah. Okay. So I always ask everyone who I'm interviewing this, what is the one piece of advice you can give to the youngsters who are starting a food blogging or any business? I mean, but any side passion or side hustle, anything. What is the one piece of advice that you would give?
It's a combination of a couple of things, right? One, you guys are in an era where exposure and interaction is free in your hands.
Yes.
You can use it the way you want.
Yes.
Probably in my era, I'm like 2 eras, probably 2 decades, a little bit early. Wahan pe nahi tha. You had to do it hard work. You had to do it over years. I'm not saying that you guys have taken it easily because it comes to you easily. But what I'm saying is that we had to go find and hunt for it. For you, it's right in front of your eyes. You have it in your hands. So if you want to do food blogging, and I've seen a lot of people do it, I'll give you a couple of examples, exactly what I'm talking. If somebody is passionate, do something that Prithvi is doing, Hyderabad football. Do something that Shrishti is doing, Hyderabad football. There are profiles that I personally like a lot, Flatter Platter, Vertica, and there are people like One Smart Cookie, people who are not food bloggers but food content creators. Kranti Chaudhary from Virally is such people. If you want, I can keep giving them a list. These are food content creators. They cook, they make content out of it. They don't go review restaurants, but they cook and make it. Home cooks, for that matter, home bakers, right? They are real content creators. So watch them and see what do you want to do. You want to do same thing like them, and you also have a huge advantage in your hands. You have better financial conditions, so you can go and explore places and try food based on your money. I don't understand the fact that people who are still in college ping me, say that Anna, take me for a session. I was like, it looks kiddish, agreed, but if you are asking as a food blogger, that's equal to begging. Don't do it. Don't do it. Reaching out to a restaurant saying that, hey, this is my content, I see that you have a restaurant, would you want to collaborate? That's like a diplomatic ask. But I know people going saying that, hey, I'm a blogger, I have this much Instagram followers, do you want to host a session for me and me? That's begging. If you say, hey, this is my content, watch out, have a view, you like me, I want to collaborate with you, right? It's not about hosting session. We can work out. I can review your food. I mean, it's the ask is the same, but you're asking it as a professional and a diplomatic way. So if you're starting, I know everybody wants to go into food blogger where you're invited. Yaar, wo ego feeling. That satisfies your ego that some restaurant is calling me. I won't deny that. I won't say that is wrong. It's a valid thing to expect. But you have to have the credibility. Why is this person calling me for food blogging? Why am I called as for a food session? Will I add value to it? Or I'm just a number one? So if you are going into a food session as a number, you're review number 10 for me. You're not going as gastro hugger. You're going as number 10 review for me. It's as much as you non-existent in that community. You are just a review for them. Naam pata nahi chalega. You don't have to introduce yourself. They won't know who you are. You are just another blogger who will give me 4 or 5. Because the guy who's hosting the session has promised me. So that's as good as you're not an existing. You're a non-existing body there. Right? So don't do it. But if you're doing it, that I'll find the forums, I'll interact. I know some of the people who are genuine that I'll tell you, people have said that, sir, I was an introvert. But coming into this community, I've started to speak in a lot of people and I've got a lot of friends.
Yes.
That is the purpose of doing food blogging. I'm okay with that. Not everybody. I'll never buy the bullshit that people say. I'm here for passion. ये करके दिखाऊंगा, वो करके दिखाऊंगा. Ask them a very simple question. यार मेरे को बिरयानी बनाने के तरीका 5 स्टेप में बोल. क्या क्या है उसमें? Ask them 5 ingredients in the biryani that people say that biryani is the bloodline of it. But tell me 5 ingredients in biryani, and if you can't answer it, don't do it. Don't take your food blogging passion forward. Learn about food. Be humble when it comes to being a food blogger. Don't show off in the initial stages. Showing off is going to grab you the spotlight, but not engagement. That's like bad publicity. Like log gali dete hai, video viral ho jata hai, but will people respect that person? No. Right. Sure. If you're trying to start something in food, like you want to start a restaurant or QSR or even a street food bandi, I'm telling you, I personally made the mistake of keeping quiet and not taking that risk. That first step, that kuch karke dikhana. I had lot of ideas. I have seen a lot of my ideas which I've spoken to Zubair. Zubair knows it well ahead. 3 or 4 ideas I was so passionate about chasing behind have become an F&B concept. Some of them have failed, some of them have worked. And when I see my idea, somebody else thought about it. It was not somebody stole my idea. But when I see that somebody took my idea to the next step and they've actually succeeded, I feel very ashamed of myself, saying that, why didn't I do it? That's because I was having a family, I was having security issues, financial capital is nahi tha. But now the era is such that world is welcoming changes, world is welcoming experiment. So if you have a passion, make sure you take a logical decision that mere paas support hai. That means you will go 3 months or 6 months into that, you will fail, you can come back to your own self. If you have that, don't hesitate to take it. I've had discussions with a lot of wrong entrepreneurs who had that passion to take that risk. I love that. I love them just for the aspect of taking risk. I still chicken out. I have a lot of ideas. I still chicken out because I've gone past that era of that youngness, young minds. I've gone out of that. So now I'll think, irrespective of whatever I want to, I'll think as a family man who has a family. But for young people who want to go into entrepreneurship related to food, do your homework. And considering the pandemic, I will not advise or suggest, I'm not expert to do it. Think cloud kitchen.
Okay.
Pretty sure next 1 to 2 years, cloud kitchen is going to be the new norm. Just like remote working for IT professionals. Get your foundation right. Don't invest too much. Don't take all your investments as a capital. Keep a part as a backup. Come with the concept. See, even you can make biryani and sell from home. You don't have to be innovative. But do your homework right. Get your formula right. Get your logistics right. When you say logistics, staff, recipe, how to reach your customer. ये तीनों चीज को figure out करो. Discuss with your friends, discuss with your families, discuss with industry experts, discuss with bloggers, discuss with end customers. If you think it is worth the risk, take it. But don't shy away from risk. That's what I'm going to do. If you have an idea in mind, take it forward. Okay.
So shall we play a small game where I ask you a question and you have to answer without, just thinking about it, okay?
I'm not going to think. I'm not a good thinker either.
Okay. According to you, 5 favorite food bloggers of you. Like 5.
Okay, I'll just add a small note to this, Merlin, if you don't mind. When I say food bloggers, they need to have a blog. I know many might get offended.
Okay.
For me, if you're a food blogger, it's just like, sir, I'm a teacher because I'm in a school. You can't be a teacher outside. You have to be there to have that.
Okay.
So when I say food blogging, I don't want anybody to take, because I'm in a position where people look out for me. So I don't want to insult everybody. So for me, who's a food blogger means you have a domain, you have a food blog, you write your own creative content space over there. So for me, Pallab Dey, Ablesh Mitran, Siddharth Moge, and the last spot, not in terms of order, would be Yash and Sanjay.
Okay. And biryani with mirchi ka salan or dahi ka chutney for life? Anyone, mirchi ka salan.
Mirchi ka salan, because I still I'm allergic to curd. Not many people know I'm allergic to curd.
Okay.
So I can take curds in different forms, but not as
Okay.
Choose
anyone, eating or cooking?
Eating. Easy.
Eating. And do you prefer a la carte or takeaway? I guess a la carte it is.
Not a la carte, anything in that place jahan pe khana banta hai. So even if it is at home, from kitchen to it, I sometimes eat in my kitchen itself as I
Okay.
So takeaway only if the food is to die for and I cannot access it.
And what is your favorite hangout spot or your go-to cafe in Hyderabad?
Oh, that's personal. You're going to get me into trouble because there are a lot of friends in it. We used to hang out a lot in Karma. So I still like that place. This one that I keep talking about, which I'm so ashamed that I can't pull the name out of it. We used to hang out a lot. But the current favorite, and still my favorite because it's a combination of everything I want, is Resign Sky Bar. I know people would relate that as Zubair's second home, but I've been there quite a lot of times because it's right across the office. So it has to be Resign Sky Bar.
And one last question. Top 3 biryani places in Hyderabad?
This is my personal interest because I know when it comes to biryani, it's an emotion for a lot of people. A lot of people have their own personals. If you don't mention that names, they'll hate you. They'll literally hate you, right? One biryani that I like, which not many people like, but somehow I like it the way it is Pakwan Grand's double masala mutton.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of that. I like the freshness of the rice, the mutton cook. I mean, I eat a lot of in Shagaus also because office-wise they're closer to me. But I somehow like Pakwan Grand. 2 has to be Meridian because it's not just about the biryani. It's the combination of that salan. So it is like your hero should be biryani, but for me the hero is salan there. So for that salan, that biryani works wonders. Meridian has to be second. Third, I have had it only twice, but it just took the breath out of me, was Bahar Cafe, Basirapur. See, now I speak, I'm salivating for it. I think it has to be these 3. There are a lot other variants that I like, but if I have to select 3, it has to be.
Nice. Okay, so this was it. It was amazing having you, on board for this interview. Thank you so much for taking out this time. It's almost more than 1 hour of the interview, and I enjoyed every bit of it. There was a lot to learn, and once again, thank you so much for coming, for agreeing for this interview. So on this note, I'll end this interview, and I would like you to tell to the viewers to subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Merlin. I know this was quite a lot, right? I think we met in Zomaland and we got to figure it out, and things have been going on. The very reason I was trying to be finishing off my focus, when we come into this program, it has to be on both places. I have to feel that I can actually talk as a person. Some reason this quarantine work, my blogging community is there. I think it happened at well. Thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure. The questions were fun to answer, but I'll tell you that. It was not crossing boundaries, it was not making anybody comfortable, and I hope it was a good one. So I saw your content, and when you told me you were a vlogger, I looked into it. I think Hyderabad needs more YouTubers like you, because that's another area where we have a lot of talent, but not many people are taking it because they feel it's too time consuming. Editing, choreographing, envisioning it. You guys have to be a short film movie director. You have to think about everything and do it.
Yeah.
So you're no less than directors to me. More than content creators, I'd say you're not less than directors to me, because you are everything for your channel.
Thank you.
I like the work that you're doing. Continue to do it. I think you should do this, whatever you're trying to do with me, as a regular series, because you have a lot of people to talk, a lot of people you can say.
Yes.
I know some people might not want to do it as an interview, but
yes,
guys, if you're seeing this, people in my food blogging community, do this, because this is another forum where we can share experiences. It's good for you also, because you have rewind a lot of memory. So do subscribe to Merlin Blogs, follow him, give him more support, because I'll tell you, as content creators in this digital platform, the boost is enthusiasm and support you guys give. It's not the count, it's not the numbers, it's not everything else. It's people telling that you're doing something good, man. You should do it. That's the fuel. So it needs to get coming and coming. So I hope people who are watching from my Insta following, or who people will eventually get to see this in YouTube, follow, support. And if any of you have similar passions, take guidance and come out, do a lot of vloggings, because I know like Merlin does it. I know one or two people are doing it very basic level. Amir is doing on food vlogging. To take vlogging as a passion, even I want more vloggers to come in. I want Merlin to grow. Probably in a year, I want to see it one of the most promising vlogger channels in Hyderabad.
Thank you.
Do it. Continue to do what you're doing, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.